Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name's Colleen and I really hope that you're going to enjoy what we're doing today. Today's workshop is going to be on how to color Play-Doh, and if you've missed the previous workshop on how to make it, please just look back on my channel amongst the videos and you'll see how to make a no-cook Play-Doh, and it really is fabulous because you only need a few ingredients from your home. So if we have a look here, you will see that I've already prepared a batch of dough. It's got a very nice soft silky texture, and as you can see, it's not coming off in my hands at all. So I'm going to take this and divide it into three, and I'm going to mix up three different colors. I prefer to do my coloring this way rather than actually have one big batch of a color, because that's a little bit limited unless you are, of course, a teacher. And if you are a teacher, then you find that you're going to need to mix up huge quantities. Then this recipe that I have used in the previous video will allow you to double up or quadruple up. So I've got some small glass bowls, and into that I've put some of my dough, and you can see I'm squishing it down to make a well in the middle. I want to be able to pour my coloring into that so that it actually doesn't create a big mess while I'm working. So I've got three different colors. Now you might find that you want to use just your regular food color, which you can obtain at your grocery store, and you use that for your baking. And I'm going to, into this one, put a couple of drops of green. The colors for the food dyes are very strong, so just be careful about that, and maybe it's a good idea not to let your toddlers do this. The second kind that I'm going to use is the AmeriColor, which is the professional baker's coloring that they use for coloring fondant. And this is also a nice one to have if you have it. If not, I'll show you just now how you can mix colors with your actual doughs. So I'm just putting a little drop of that in. You can see that this one, as opposed to being a liquid, is a little bit more like a gel. It's going to be quite a strong color. And then the third one that I'm making is an orange. So off we go. Now, obviously you don't want to get too messy, so the best secret I can give you is start with your lightest color, which is my orange, and I'm going to actually use the sucker stick to kind of press the color into the dough. If you simply fold the dough over and you squish it, you have a great chance of the dough, of the dye coming out the sides of it and squirting all over you or all over your counters and your clothes, so it can be a bit messy like that. So use the stick just to push the dye into the dough so it combines. It will wash off if you get it on your hand, so that's absolutely fine. And obviously with the little ones, these dyes that we're using are all completely safe. They are food safe dyes. Once you've combined this nicely, then it's ready to mix with your hands. Okay, so starting now with my orange, I'm just going to take this out of the bowl, and using my hand, simply just going to work it through, squishing it as I'm going, and you can see that in no time at all, this is actually starting to combine. It gives quite a nice marbled effect, so this in itself, once you've got it to this stage, is nice for the little ones to learn how to roll it out and get the color smooth and even. Lovely color coming through here. You can see the orange, and it hasn't taken long to work. And again, if you look at my hands, they're completely clean, so this is really a fabulous recipe for you to work with. Stores nicely in your fridge for up to 3 weeks in an airtight container. Just make sure, obviously, when you're working with little ones, that if they have dropped it on the floor, that you're picking it up before you pack things away, because otherwise if you get it under your shoes, you're going to trample it all over the place. Great. So to my previous colors that I made, these previous colors were made with food coloring. I've actually now got some of the other dyes there. I'm going to take my second color, which is the green food coloring, and as I did previously with the orange, I'm just going to simply get that dark color mixed into the dough. Again, I don't want this all over my clothes or my carpets, and certainly not something you want little people to get hold of. Once it starts to combine with the dough, then I will take it out and knead it, just as I did the previous one. So you can see most of that dark color has gone away. Great. So now I'm going to form a little ball, and once again I'm just going to knead that through, just pushing it down all the time. I must say working with dough is actually really, really therapeutic. At one point in my life, I worked with street children in Cape Town, and most of them hadn't had much of an education, and they were living on literally the pavements, surviving off I don't know what. I'd always said to them they would make wonderful business people because they were great survivors and great entrepreneurial thinking outside the box. But I started an art program with them, and I used to take them once a week into one of the shelters and be able to do art there with them. And they absolutely loved working with clay. There's something about just squishing it in your hands, which is great. You don't even have to make something that is marvelous. So here we go. Let's make our final color. And this one is going to be the purple. So again, I'm going to take my little sucker stick and just simply work this dark color. Gosh, it doesn't look like purple at this stage, but they say it is, so let's hope it is. Looks like more like a navy blue, but the bottle does say purple. Anyway, surprises are all good. Okay, just move this deep color into the dough, making sure that it's not going to be messy with the kids. There we go, ready to take out and just knead together. So again, just mixing it together nicely. Let's see if it is really purple. I think it's more of a navy blue, but anyway, that's not serious. You might find that you don't have a lot of colors at home when you are making your Play-Doh. Maybe you've just got one or two, and that's absolutely fine. Normally your food colors are primary colors plus green. So your primary colors are your red, your yellow, and your blue, and then often it's green in your food colors. So if you've got two of those, like a red and a yellow, you can mix them together to create an orange. Yeah, unfortunately my purple bottle, which is called Regal Purple, is actually more of a blue. So somewhere along the line, they've mislabeled it. Anyway, you've got the idea what actually happens here. And by way of comparison, it's not far off color to the food coloring that I used with the previous one. Right, so I'm going to set this aside now. And what I'd like to show you, just by taking some small quantities, is that if I had to take a little bit of my red and my yellow. In my previous video, I explained that yellow is quite a weak color in terms of pigments. So you will find that you need more yellow than you will of the red when you're making things. I can actually mix these two together. I can either mix them together in a design. So if I was making something like an ear, I could have one color with inside the other, just like that. Or I can mix them together to create a completely new color by just squishing them together. You'll see that it'll start to go quite orange. Red and yellow make orange. Blue and yellow will make your green. And blue and your red will actually make purple. So you'll see already that this is becoming quite a nice orange. As I said, the yellow is quite a weak color. So if I wanted to make this slightly deeper, I could actually add a little bit more red into this. And you will find that just simply by adding that, that's fine. The kids can have a lot of fun with this. You can see already if you put one color inside the other, you can make a little mouth like that for a little snake perhaps, or you could do all sorts of things like little beads, things for Easter, things for Christmas, things for a fairy garden maybe. And by mixing this red into the orange that I had, you can see that the color is getting already deeper. Well, that's all I have for you today, showing you how to mix colors into your Play-Doh. I hope that you've enjoyed that. Please subscribe and like my buttons on my channel so that you can stay tuned for other crafts that I'm going to be doing. I've got a whole variety of different things that I've taught over the years. I've had 23 years of experience. So I've got lots to share, ranging from fabric painting to decoupage, embossing on metal, doing mosaic work, glass painting, working with paper mache and beads, some sewing projects, some embroidery projects. So more to come, and I hope you enjoyed that. Bye for now.